Muy buena gente, ¿cómo están? Estamos aquí en un nuevo capítulo de Vampyr. Bueno gente, vamos a continuar donde lo dejamos en el capítulo anterior. Que lo dejamos en la misión de sed eterna del prólogo, claramente. Porque somos así de especialitos. Así que vamos a darle. Muelle Norte, estado de distrito estable.
This place reeks of bloodshed. This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
Hijo de puta. Lo estamos haciendo bien. Utilizar la vara para tranquilamente darle con todo. 1, 2, 3. Necesito un poco más de sangre. Uno más de sangre. Perfecto. Ahí está. Y nos encargamos de William Bishop. Perfecto. ¿Y qué tenemos? Porra. Oh. Oh. A ver, si no entendí mal entonces. Yo me pongo esto acá. Y aturro al mismo tiempo, ¿verdad? ¿O no? No. ¿Dónde leí eso? Oh. Acá que looteamos otros. No te vas a morir, señor, que está ahí desangrándose. Oh, cholines. Y ahora sí vamos a por este. Revisa la víctima.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Oh.
Remember, certain Skals are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Skal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
Así que vamos a investigar a ver qué le pasó. No hay nada mal, ¿verdad? No, no parece. Así que
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
abordamos el barco.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that Skal. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stone, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reid.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reid, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reid. Marvelous.
¿La conocemos a algún lado?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reid, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
Parece que
Seems
no
I
nos
have
queda de
little
otro.
choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Así que somos un doctor realmente conocido. Mira vos.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Trae buenas noticias. A ver cuáles son.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Skal said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reid here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Ok. Llevarme a un hospital. He aceptado la ayuda del doctor Swansea. Trabajaré en el hospital Pembroke. No tengo alternativa. El hombre conoce mi enfermedad, en lo que me he convertido. Un vampiro. No puedo creerlo. No sé nada sobre este centro médico oculto. Aquí todo el mundo me toma por lo que ya no soy. Jonathan Reid, el famoso cirujano. Debo mentirles a todos, a los pacientes, al personal. Este es mi nuevo hogar, donde me ocultaré de todos quienes están detrás de mí. Donde me ocultaré de todos hasta llegar a comprender mejor lo que sucede.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. Me guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Calidad de sangre. La calidad de sangre indica cuánta experiencia obtendrás de un ciudadano específico. Cuanto mayor sea la calidad de sangre, más experiencia conseguirás. Para beber la sangre de tu presa, primero debes memorizarla para que se aleje de la vista de los demás. Tu nivel de memorización debe ser igual o mayor a la resistencia del ciudadano. Presiona Q para memorizar.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Tentación a la sangre. Presiona X para clic izquierdo para apropiarte de Claire o barra para liberarlo. Al apropiarte obtendrás experiencia, pero ya debes tener cuidado ya que habrá consecuencias. Conocer más de los ciudadanos y recuperar pistas aumentará la experiencia obtenida. Vamos a liberarlo por ahora. Por ahora no vamos a matar a ninguno.
Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Genial. Resortes. Y hay algo más allá. Y ahí podemos hablar con el señor Cox.
Whoa, I feel giddy. What happened? Did I black out?
Sí, te
It is
desmayaste.
wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reid. Your office has been prepared.
Tengo
I
algunas
would like to ask a few
preguntas.
questions first.
¿Cómo está el señor Hampton?
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
¿Quién es el doctor Swansea?
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Él me conoce más que yo a
It's
él.
right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Acabo de
I've
conocerlo.
only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Vamos para atrás. ¿Dónde está mi habitación?
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Ok. Nos vemos, señorita
Thank you,
Dorothy.
Nurse Crane.
O enfermera Crane. Tenemos unos cuantos desconocidos por aquí. A ver,
What can I do for you, Doctor?
no hay más para ver, ¿no? No, no parece ver. A ver... Oh, acá hay botellas pequeñas.
Good
Y vamos a
evening,
hablar
sir.
con todos.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reid. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reid. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reid. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Vamos a su vida en Londres. Y requerimos una pista para saber más. ¿Cuál es la
How
situación
is the
aquí?
situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
¿Contrabandea armas?
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
¿Cuál es su ocupación aquí?
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
¿Cómo está la situación sanitaria?
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Suena como si hubiera pasado momentos
It sounds
difíciles.
like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Nueva investigación medianoche en el jardín del bien y del mal. Ok, vamos para atrás y queda abierto por la última pista. Vamos a hacer preguntas algunas personales. No podemos ninguna. No la vamos a hacer por... A ver,
I'd
vamos a ver
like
qué
to see
tiene.
your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reid. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Escopeta de Milton. Ok.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Vamos. Hoy va a ser más que nada capítulo para hablar y conocer a todos los de acá. Quiero que todos conozcan, conocer el nombre de todos.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reid has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Vamos a preguntarle su vida en Londres. ¿Cuál es la situación aquí?
What is
A
the
ver qué es lo que
Pembroke
cuenta él.
Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
La situación es igual en todas
The best
partes.
situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reid. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
¿Personalidades positivas?
Tell me more about cherished people then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
Doctor Tepes. Corcoran está convencido de que Hewimnet Brannigan está sobrecalificada como enfermera. Esta es Brannigan, ¿no? Sí. Y este es, ok.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Y tenemos algo más, ¿verdad? De esta. Según Corcoran Tepes, Brannigan, no le voy a decir el nombre, está sobrecalificada para ser... Ok, es lo mismo. Ok. ¿Qué pasa con la gerencia?
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Eso no está muy bien que digamos. No hay nada más, ¿verdad? Vamos a hacer un chequeo médico.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
¿Eh? Ah, esto ya lo terminé. Y preguntas personales, que no le puedo hacer ninguna.
Goodbye,
Así que,
Dr. Tippett.
adiós, Dr. Tippes. Ya hicimos a Milton, al Dr. Tippes. ¿Quién faltaría? A Buckingham o Brannigan.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Ajá, mirá, no sabía eso. Su vida, vamos a preguntarle su vida en Londres. ¿Cuál es la situación aquí, según ella?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
¿Un enemigo invisible?
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
¿Cómo podría fracasar?
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Cuéntame sobre el personal.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
¿Alguien se destaca?
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Ok, tenemos más cosas de Tepes. Corcoran está agotado y se niega a parar de trabajar. Acá tenemos algo más. Y esta dice claramente lo mismo, creo. Hable, a ver.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
A ver, vamos a hacerle... Creo que no queda nada más, ¿verdad? Cuéntame sobre el personal, su situación. No queda nada. Vamos con el chico médico.
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Supuestamente está bien. ¿En serio? Ah, ok, me faltaba preguntas personales. ¿Qué? Tippett habla bien de usted, es la única que tengo hasta ahora.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Ok, ok.
Goodbye, nurse.
No le hice el chequeo médico, así que lo vamos a hacer.
Good evening.
Oh, sí.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Ok, está bien.
Goodbye, nurse.
Por ahora llevamos... A ver... Acá. Del médico. Ya tenemos al Dr. Cortins, que está bien, por así decirlo. Ay, la señorita Braraca creo que... Si me da 3000 de experiencia cuando la absorba, la verdad. Si es que la absorbo, obviamente. Y vamos a seguir. Acá afuera creo que están todos, ¿verdad? Sí. Hay alguien viéndome. ¡Epa! Vi algo. No, parece que no. ¿Acá quién es?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
Pippa.
I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
Pippa
And I'm
Hawkins.
Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Vamos a preguntar su vida en Londres. ¿Cuál es la situación? Ah, tenemos una que requiere pista. Ok. ¿Cómo está la situación aquí?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Ok, la gripe española no durará para
Nurse
siempre.
Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Hija de puta, me acaba de hacer pensar. Pero bueno, da igual. ¿Durante cuánto tiempo has sido enfermera?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Le sorprendería.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
¿Cómo lo llevan los
How is the
personajes?
Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
¿Por qué especialmente?
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
¿Por qué Milton tiene
Why
mal humor?
is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Milton Hooks. La reputación de Milton es mediocre entre sus colegas. Ok, muchas gracias. Ahora vamos con las preguntas personales. Que no tengo ninguna. Básicamente con el chico médico.
Help yourself, nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
Subí en Londres, ya está. Espera, ¿hay algo más? No, requiere pista. Preguntas personales, ya está.
Goodbye, nurse.
Y vamos a ir a hablar con Milton, que está afuera. Ahí. Porque tenemos una pista sobre él.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Hijo de tu puta madre, ¿cómo te atreves a preguntar eso? No tengo acá. Acá, su mediocre reputación. A
Why
ver.
do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reid.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Tenemos algo nuevo.
Goodbye, Milton.
Y completamos una parte de Milton. Oh, no me diga que tengo... Ah, no, es adentro. A ver, tenemos a Pipa. Oh, y tenemos dos desconocidos más acá.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
¡Ay, papara! Ay, por Dios, qué estupidez. Vamos a preguntarle, ¿es usted una mujer vampiro?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
¿Ha escuchado sobre el síndrome de Cotard?
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty.
A ver. Thelma tiene el síndrome de Cotard y cree que es una vampira. Perfecto. Tenemos una de las pacientes.
You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Completamente.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
¿Necesitas sangre? Ok, ¿es usted el paciente aquí?
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Un murciélago. O sea, típico lo que nosotros creemos prácticamente lo que es un vampiro.
Enemies you mentioned. Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure, but I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Visitaba el jardín cercano a la morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me, for I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Nueva investigación. Objetivo equivocado. Es una nueva misión por lo que creo. Preguntas personales. No tenemos ningún... No, sí. ¿Quién es usted realmente?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Ok, no queda nada, así que vamos a hacerle...
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reid. Blood is the only drug I need.
Ok, eso sería todo. Adiós.
Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Es bastante interesante esto de que se cree un vampiro. Tengo una misión allá. Y a ver. Tengo una misión acá, que es jardín. Y tengo... Debería tener otra, ¿o no? Se ve que no. Pues bueno. Vamos a hablar con... A ver. Este es Meltorford, Pipa. Y tengo que hablar con este.
Good evening, sir.
Buenas noches, señor. ¿Puedo ayudarlo?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Podemos mesmerizarlo ya. O sea, débil de mente este. Su vida en Londres. ¿Cómo es su estancia aquí? ¿Y necesitamos una pista?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars. If you get my drift.
¿Puedo hacer algo?
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
¿Quién lo atiende?
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Ok. No podemos esta porque necesitamos una pista. Y acerca de la señorita Crawford. ¿Por qué tenemos...? ¡Ajá! Ok, círculo social. Lo entiendo. Ok. Acerca de la enfermedad de la ciudad.
Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Thomas, y nueva pista disponible. Thomas considera que Thelma Hopfer lo prueba vivientemente de que hay esperanza para él. Considera a Tenmanhofer la prueba viviente de que hay esperanza para él. Ok. ¿Dejó que lo mordiera? A ver.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Está mentalmente perturbada.
Disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Por Dios, la gente está perturbada en este juego. ¿Estuvo mucho tiempo en el ejército?
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
No entiendo por qué lo dice así. Ya está todo. Nos queda tan solo el chiquillo médico.
You need assistance.
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Ok, tranquilo.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
¿Dónde se fue? Se fue a tomar por saco, boludo. Ah, se fue a sentar. A ver, creo que tenemos algo más para esta, ¿eh? Preguntas personales. Cuéntame sobre Thomas Elwood. A ver.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Está enamorada. ¿Piensa convertirla en vampiro?
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
¿Tiene una relación romántica?
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Ok. Y no nos queda una pista más que todavía no encontramos y que vamos a encontrar tarde o temprano.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
A ver. Estamos acá, nos faltan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 personas más a encontrar para hacerlo completamente como necesitamos. A ver, el Voltenguin, y acá está 100.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion make me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Su vida en Londres. Su presencia en el refugio de William Bishop.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Eso no te... No voy a responder eso. ¿Por qué lo secuestró?
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
¿Oh? ¿Es usted un héroe o un
You
tonto?
dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Acerca de Thomas
Do you
Hobbes.
know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Desesperación.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Corrupción.
Who should I avoid in this part of town then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Vamos para atrás. La situación en el muelle de East
What is
End.
the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
¿Y quién lidera ahora la
Who leads
pandilla?
the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who
Clay
runs the
Cox.
show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
¿Lo ha amenazado
Has
la
the gang
pandilla?
been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Ok. Vamos para atrás. Y preguntas personales que tenemos todas desbloqueadas. ¿Cómo se siente?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
¿Cómo se gana la vida?
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
¿Es un cura?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
¿Por qué no usa la cruz contra
Why
William?
didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
¿Ha hecho algún amigo desde su llegada?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Creo que eso es todo.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Hello again, Dr. Reid.
No quería hacer esto, pero bueno. A ver.
It's locked.
No puedo entrar ahí. ¿Por qué? Está cerrada. Raro. Pipa. Ese es desconocido. Y acá tenemos a un doctor, un camarada. Así que vamos a hablar con el doctor desconocido. ¡Oh no! Concha su hermana. Vamos a hablar con el
Good
otro
evening,
doctor.
I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland.
Thoreau Strickland.
I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Vamos a preguntarle sobre su vida en Londres, los cuales tenemos una que está bloqueada. Cuénteme sobre usted.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
¿Cómo se decidió
What
a
made
elegir
you
esta carrera?
choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Me complacerá
It's
ayudarlo.
always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Cuénteme sobre sus experimentos.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am...
A ver. Los experimentos de Tootsie con transfusiones de sangre aún no tuvieron éxito.
Knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Acerca del hospital Pembroke.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Parece bastante
You seem
optimista.
quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
¿Necesita mi
Do you
ayuda?
need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want
Genial,
me to play
misión
the
nuevo.
errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Nueva investigación. Ingredientes faltantes. Ahora vamos a las preguntas personales que tenemos acerca de sus técnicas de traducción. Es la única que
Tell me
tenemos.
more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reid. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Debe
This
permanecer neutral.
personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Cuéntame sobre el señor
Tell
Fiddick.
me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Harvey Fiddick. Harvey se culpa por su lesión. Ok, eso sería todo, ¿verdad? Sí. A ver. Sí, chequeo
You need
médico.
my medical attention, dear colleague.
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reid. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Perfecto.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Adiós, doctor Strickland. Quiero hablar con este, pero... Ah, ahí está. Ahora
Good
puedo.
evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
¿Qué creo que ya sé cuál va a ser nuestra primera víctima? Este chavo ya me cayó mal. A ver, yo que vos busco un lugar donde esconderme, ¿eh? ¿Tiene un problema conmigo?
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
You are going to change your tone with me, my dear colleague, and very quickly.
I don't think so. Perhaps you think yourself protected by Dr. Swansea, but I am still a free man, and I will speak to you the way I want.
Doctor Heatherly Ackrow. Señor, usted se va a morir pronto.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Weberly no prueba los métodos médicos modernos. O sea, sos un estúpido del siglo 50, del siglo 1. ¿Verdad? ¿Qué piensa de la investigación del señor Strickland?
What do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish
¿Por qué quiere dirigir esta cirugía?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Es un punto de vista conservador, la verdad que sí.
Say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
Pero si la cirugía sale bien, va a salir bien. Tengo dos pistas y esto ya lo terminamos, ¿verdad? Sí. Tengo dos situaciones. He demostrado mi valor como profesional.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
¿Le puedo meter una piña ya? He salvado muchas vidas.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
¿Malos recuerdos sobre su servicio en el servicio? Seguramente tiene unos cuantos.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Vamos con lo último antes de terminar de hablar con este pelotudo.
You need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are used to gaining people's trust with your impressive skills. Well, it will not be the case with me.
¿Cuánto necesito para para memorizarlo. 4, la concha de la... Tengo que absorber a 4 personas para matarte, hijo de tu puta madre. Lo voy a hacer. Lo voy a hacer. Este chabón no se salva. Quizás no mate ninguno. O mate a 3 para matarlo a este. Pero lo voy a matar. Hijo de su puta madre. No sé si se escucha la alarma. Esto significa, gente, que se acabó la hora. Y lo vamos a dejar justo aquí. Estos primeros capítulos van a ser más que nada días de conocimiento. De... ¿Cómo se llama esto? Sí, conocimiento. Conocer a la gente de todos los distritos. A medida que voy pasando, pumba, voy conociendo. Porque mira, ya... Concha, acá. Ya en el distrito del hospital Pembroke. Ya conozco a más de la mitad. Y los conozco bastante bien. Poco a poco voy a ir conociendo más cosas sobre esta gente. Como por ejemplo, estos dos no los conozco, estos dos no los conozco, estos dos no los conozco. Estos dos quizás pueden ver algo, pero ve, tienen todos pistas. Y voy a tener que ayudarlos. Pero bueno, gente, lo vamos a dejar hasta aquí. Desactivamos esto. Y mientras que vemos la cara de nuestro doctor moribundo, nos despedimos y hasta la próxima. Chao, gente. Bye bye.